Or not, this is the future of the meat industry. In just an hour, this printer by Redefined Meat can build you about 6.5 kilos or 13 pounds of fake meat.
The idea is to replace a cow. So each of our machines produce in a day exactly like a cow, up to 250 kilos in a single day.
And not just faux ground beef, as with other alternative meat products.
As far as we know, there is an amazing industry of alternative meat that is focused on mincemeat. And actually, the meat industry is driven by the whole muscle cuts. Our technology can create whole muscle cuts, just as a cow can produce that, in a much more efficient way, with a lower cost, and of course, it's much better for the environment. So we're introducing a new category. We can do the entire cow, not only one part of the cow that is actually side stream. Steaks, roast, slow cooking, grilling, everything that an animal can do, we want to do the same or even better.
And best of all, it's part of a push to save the planet.
This is the biggest problem we face today as humanity, and this is the best way to fight climate change, to deliver healthier solutions and food to the entire population of the planet.
Now moving out of the lab and into the kitchen, many restaurants and hungry restaurant goers are...
All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom Labaharyim. Yeah, the name of this video is going to be The Most High is going to give this devil full power over the earth. Okay? With the video you just saw, needs no introduction or explanation. It's just further proven that the Most High is about to actually allow this man, Esau Edom, to have full power over the earth. And what's that going to do is going to have a chain reaction, a cause and effect of the minds of the people. Because when you understand what food does, all right, and what that does to the frequency of the mind, it goes a long way. All right, it goes a long way, especially when you're talking about meats. Matter of fact, I didn't have that on deck, but you know, the scriptures tell you about that. Excessive meats. Give me 1 second. This is the book of Sirach. Yeah. Sirach chapter 37 and 30. It says, for excess of meats bringeth sickness, and suffering will turn into choler. Right, now when you look up this word choler, okay, when you look up that word choler, there it goes. Choler, it says what? Anger or irascibility. Okay, let's look up that word irascibility. Or if I'm saying it correctly. It says having or showing a tendency to be easily angered. Okay, so when you change the DNA of the food, you change the monotone, not the monotone, but you change the frequency of the people. You change the you change the vibration. You change people's DNA. You changing people's moods. You know, and this is what's going to allow this man to be in full control. It's already noted about, you know, the different farms that are being bought up by these different foundations, which you should know already. All right. And what are they going to do? They're going to replace it with what we just saw, these particular meats. OK, in that video, which you saw. Right. And that's going to be able to allow them to control the tempo. All right. Control the temperature, if you will, of the people. All right. To bottle them all up. All right. Because this is all prophecy, man. This is all prophecy. The first scripture I want to get is Revelation chapter 20. Okay, I'm gonna just go straight to the point. Verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison Right. Matter of fact, let's start from the top. Okay. And I saw an angel come down from heaven having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Right. This is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan being thrown into basically hell, you know. No, this is talking about Esau, Edom being taken out of power, right, during the pagan Roman Empire. And then the Israelites that overthrew the pagan Roman Empire was ruling for 1,000 years. Okay. And the bottomless pit represents what? It represents Europe. Okay. Because that's where ancient pagan Rome occupied. Okay. So, and it says what? Verse 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and say, seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more. So this is how you know it's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. Till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. Okay, he must be loosed a little season. Okay, and when he's loosed, he's what? Back into power. He's coming. That's where you have the Renaissance era. Okay, jumping down verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, right, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. So he went from the bottomless pit, deceiving the nations, okay, to being chained and then being loosed to deceive. He was in the, then being loosed out of that to deceive the four corners of the earth. And that's what you see today. And a part of that is what? Like I mentioned earlier, and I brought up the video, as far as the meat industry and the food industry, the GMO foods, all right? That is a major part of life. Food is a major part of life, all right? You have brain foods, all right? You have particular herbs and spices. You got fruits and vegetables that raise your frequency when it's naturally from the earth. Okay, so how much more when this man comes with this whole completely genetically modified. When you listen, you hear that, genetically modified organisms. Okay, the modification of genetics, because this, remember, the scriptures tell you. All right, let me see something. Now let's go to. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, all right, chapter 6, verse, I'm starting at verse 47. Upon the 5th day thou saidest unto the 7th part, where the waters were gathered, that it should bring forth living creatures, fowls and fishes, and so it came to pass. For the dumb water and without life brought forth living things at the commandment of the Most High, that all people might praise thy wondrous works. Then didst thou ordain 2 living creatures, the one thou callest Enoch, which represents man, all right, and the other Leviathan, all right. So basically I brought that out because the creatures that were created were on the 5th day was man and beast out of the waters. Okay, so when the Most High created those particular animals, he gave them certain genetic makeups that will benefit man. So if you alter their genetics, you're going to alter the genetics of man. Okay, it says what? And did it separate the one from the other from the 7th part, namely where the water was gathered together, might not hold them both. Unto Enoch, right, which represents man, all right. Unto Enoch thou gavest one part, which dried up the 3rd day, that he should dwell in the same part wherein 1,000 hills, meaning he gave man to dwell on the earth. Okay, but unto Leviathan thou gavest the 7th part, namely the moist, and hast kept him to be devoured, of whom thou wilt and when. Okay, and that's the point. Okay, when the creatures were created, you had the animals created, you have the animals of the water, and you have then you have that creature, Enoch, that was placed on the dry part, which is what? On the earth, Haratazah. Okay? But they were made in the same fashion, if you will, by the same creator. All right? To be in harmony on the earth. So if you break up that harmonious arrangement, then you're going to break up the natural order of life. And this is a major part of his plan, because go ahead and eat, the store bought, or let me say a corner store, crackhead chicken. You can go get a cheesesteak from over there, or go get some a chicken box. Right, you get the fried chicken with the potato wedges and everything, and see how your body feels. See how you see. That even, I'm gonna tell you something. That even rocks your sleep, man, and it messes with. I put it like this: you can see the difference in your dreams when you eat particular foods as well. All right, why? Because when you're dreaming, that's very spiritual. We already know that the Most High sealed the instructions in a man and while he's in deep sleep. So that's a very spiritual thing when you're asleep. All right, you want to get good sleep. All right, you don't eat those heavy things. All right, late at night. All right, why? Because the body has to break down the food. Well, your body should be resting instead of breaking down food, so you can understand. Okay, so all these things are going to play a major part in these days to come. All right. And this is a part of what? This devil being loosed. Okay. I got one more scripture. All right. Because he said what? When the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out and deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And also, what did it say? It said, right. It said what? They deceived the nations. And then it says what? They deceived the nations, right? So let's go to Job chapter 20 and verse 5, right? I'm going to start at verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed on the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment, right? So this devil right now, what is he doing? Well, mainly in that time frame, he's ruling right now, but he's going to triumph later on. All right, when you go into that word triumphing, what does it say? It says ringing cry, to shout, a joyful voice, joyful. Yeah, why? Because that's when what? He's going to announce the birth. All right, that's what that shout is going to be. The announcement of what? The new world order to come. And that new world order is going to have genetically modified organisms as food, and what is going to alter the DNA of people. And you're going to see all kind of crazy, bugged out madness and enchantments, bewitching. The scriptures tell you about that in Isaiah the 47th chapter as well. All right. About the Chaldeans. Okay, when you go into it, the Chaldeans, what? They're deceiving the nations. All right, these witches, all right, these warlocks, aka these scientists, all right, that are in these labs to do these particular things, understanding what is the repercussion of what's to come in that moment. Right. And what is that going to do? That's going to give this man full control. But we understand the scripture says what? That the triumphing of the wicked is but for a moment. It's no coincidence when you go back into Revelation, the 20th chapter, right? What did it say? Revelations 20 and 8. It says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. Who's Gog and Magog? When you go into Gog and Magog, it represents Russia. All right. So when this man goes to announce his birth, all right, when he goes to triumph, it's going to be but for a moment. Why? Because that's going to bring in World War III. All right. And it's also going to, as the scriptures say, his sins have reached unto heaven. And then as his sins reach up to heaven, what's going to happen? Yahweh Shai and the holy hosts are going to come to deliver the elect throughout the four corners of the earth, and also burn Babylon the Great with fire. along with Gog and Magog. And if you don't know, Babylon the Great is America, okay? So this man, he's about to reign for a moment, and we're seeing it, man. We're on the brink of this man's announcement. All right, we're on the brink of this man's triumphing. Okay, and the Most High is going to allow him to do this for a moment. Okay, call Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash, Shalom.